Colonel Steve Akley here at my place, the ABV Barrel Shop in suburban St. Louis, the place where you can try before you buy. I encourage you to come up and spend some time here. We've got big things going on, as always. Come by and see us tonight. If you're in the area, stop by. We're going to be doing a barrel release party for our two picks. Again, this is the date that this drops, November whatever it is, 5th. I don't know what the day is. It's Wednesday. And come by and see us. We've got two different events, 5 and 7 o'clock, where we are going to be releasing our barrel picks from Remus and from Rossville Union. So MGP's Ross and Squibb Distillery. We've got two picks that'll be rolling in sometime today. This podcast, this video could be stopped at some point if that delivery happens. I got to look to the left here. And if I see the truck pull up, we'll have to come back and finish this one off. What we're doing today is answering your questions. So on this page here, I wrote down the questions that came in, not from a lot of people, but a pretty much high volume of questions. Most of these come in from Frosty. I don't know what Frosty is. I mean, this guy, he's definitely a fan and listens to the podcast, knows about all of the inside stuff that we talk about on there. Sometimes his questions don't make sense, so I don't know if he's lit when he's writing them, or he's just a stalker. I'm not sure, but seems to be a nice guy online. So we'll get to these and go through these one by one. So. And again, some of these don't make sense. I don't know if you guys don't proof them or what. I'm not sure here. So, most barrel picks through small distilleries, most of our barrel picks at the ABV Barrel Shop are from small distilleries. Can they ship direct or do they need to go through a distributor? There's two different ways to interpret this question. I'll answer both because I'm not exactly sure what this person was asking. Can you, as a person who's watching this video, purchase them direct? For the most part, not our barrel picks. No, we get those in and we do that. Do the small distilleries utilize services that they don't have to go through a distributor and buy direct? Yes, they can. So that's that side of it. But I think what they're asking is when we get these. So say I've got a distributor or a distillery friend like Lenny Eckstein, and or Macaulay Mitten, when he first came into Missouri, he was only at our place. What, are we buying directly from them or are we going through a distributor? We have to go through a distributor. The rule is you have to have a distributor, and so we always have to go through a distributor no matter what our personal relationship is with the owners of that company. We do have some distributors willing to work with us, bring those products in just for an individual store, ours. They don't make a lot of money off of that, so it's not necessarily something that they're interested in, but then the opportunity is, what if that brand grows? I've got the relationship with them, they'll utilize us. So that's kind of how that works. So that's what we do. Are there any clubs that I'm aware of in Northwest Missouri? I'm sure there are clubs up there. Matter of fact, I know that there's one in Kansas City. We had them on the Bourbon Daily podcast one time, but I don't know anybody that is in charge of those sort of clubs. I've heard Demetrius Kane talk about some of them when he goes out. He's been working the Kansas City market, so he's been in that part of the world. And he did talk about some clubs and even like a speakeasy type of thing. So there's stuff there. I just don't know myself. I'm not piped into that part of Missouri. I'm on the other side in St. Louis, so don't know a whole lot about what's going on that side. Apologies for not knowing more on that. Are some of the barrel picks you pick strong and independent or just picky? I don't know what that means. I can't answer it. I'm not sure. That's a Frosty question right there. I have no idea. Are some of the barrels you pick strong and independent or just picky? Is that like a dad joke? Is there an actual question there? I don't know. So we'll skip that one. The distiller pitching yeast, are they more like a Greg Maddox or Randy Johnson? I mean, again, it's a goofy question. Randy Johnson, definitely not. No one's throwing it in like a fastball. Maddox, of course, was a tactician on the mound. But I would say none of the above. It's more like a softball toss is what I've seen. Just kind of throw it in there. Wanting it to spread out. You're not throwing it overhand to try to target an area within the mash that's sitting there. You're wanting it to fan out. So typically you're throwing it up in the air. It's cascading down and the coverage is greater. So none of the above there. Did you get that bourbon I came by asking for last week? Yes. Yeah, it's here. So come by and pick it up. Sure. I don't know what we're talking about here. Do you have a favorite bunghole? Yes, I like the bungholes that are on the side of the barrel versus the top of the barrel. I think that's a better way to age on the side. So if you're on the top, you're missing a lot of surface area with that top of the barrel. So it's a goofy question, and I'm answering it seriously. So how about that? If I could age a barrel in St. Louis, something that was really St. Louis themed, would it be the Arch, the Dome, Busch Stadium, or a Mississippi paddle boat? No to the Mississippi paddle boat. No to the Dome. I don't think that has any national interest, though my dad was the top person in charge of building that, so that'd be kind of cool on a personal basis, but I don't think that plays well out. I think it comes down to Busch Stadium and the Arch. Those are the things that would be known on a nationwide basis. If you could age a barrel for the cool quotient, I think Arch aged would be pretty cool. I think that would be what people would be interested in from St. Louis, the true St. Louis connection there. So the Arch is iconic, and it's a big part of, if you're from St. Louis, you like seeing that Arch every single time. When you drive by it, that feels like at home. So you're coming off I do a lot of road trips, but when I see that Arch, I feel like, oh man, I'm at home. If I ever move, there'll be Arch themed things in my house. There'll be some artwork and things like that. So yes, the Arch is iconic if you're a St. Louis. And if you're not, you probably don't get it. And you're like, that's stupid. It's just a silver Arch. It represents us. It represents our city. I love the Arch. I do. I absolutely do. Nothing can happen to the Arch. Love the Arch too much. A bourbon theme Mount Rushmore. Who would be on it? So that's actually a good question there. So I've always thought about this, and I have two pretty modern era, and really most of them are modern era. I don't know that I have a pioneer because I'm not of the belief that the stories are true of the true pioneers. So, the Evan Williams of the world, or, a Baptist preacher, Elijah Craig started bourbon. I don't believe any of that stuff. Bourbon wasn't started by a singular person. No one invented bourbon. Bourbon just kind of evolved from the whiskey that was being made on the East Coast, the rye whiskey, and it kind of evolved by everyone that was making whiskey as they moved further out, and that rye grain wasn't available. So I'm of the belief that the first person that should be recognized, kind of bringing things in modern era, would be Colonel E.H. Taylor. The work that he did to unify and set some standards and some rules, I think he's the first person on my Mount Rushmore. Then the person to usher in the golden age of bourbon, to kind of get it where it's a global product and a known entity, Jim Beam. I think that Jim Beam is iconic. Then I want to get into some of the tacticians, the greatest distillers that ever lived. I think Booker No. So now we've got two from the same company. And actually, Colonel Taylor, that brand, named after him, was actually owned by Beam at one point, their Old Taylor brand that ultimately Sazerac buys. But I think you just got to put on who's best there, who deserves it. I think Booker No is one of the iconic distillers that brought us in. He kind of started, I think, he was a big part in starting what would become the true age of bourbon, and what we've gone through the last 20 years. Whether it's rocking or not, things may change, and we're on a decline now. I'm not sure, but Booker No certainly had a part with as we started to reach the summit of what we're doing. And then Jimmy Russell. I think Jimmy Russell, because of the longevity. One of the all-time great distillers, and then you factor also in the longevity. I think that he belongs on Mount Rushmore, a guy that, has worked for a company in the industry over 70 years and has seen it all. He learned from the people that were in the era of Colonel E.H. Taylor. Think about that. The people that trained him when he was new and young had worked in that era, learned by people of that age, not necessarily a direct descendants of Colonel Taylor because he was with a different company, but people of that era taught Jimmy Russell. And the fact that he went through all that, he went through the incredibly bad times of the late 60s and 70s and, 80s. And then to see this rise again, I think Jimmy Russell has to be on there. So that's my 4: Colonel Taylor, Jim Beam, Booker No, and Jimmy Russell. To me, that is the Mount Rushmore of bourbon. All right, our next question. What food, when cooking, do I like to incorporate bourbon into? I'm not a huge cook. I don't do, baked goods at all. That's not anything that I do. Then there's a lot of opportunities to incorporate bourbon into that sort of cooking. Most of the things I do are out on the grill. I have a big green egg, and I like to barbecue. I like to smoke meats, all that kind of stuff. And to me, the best food that I can produce that consistently uses bourbon is barbecue sauce. And I would like to ultimately, at some point, really refine, work on, and produce my own bourbon barbecue sauce. That's just one of those things that's been sitting at the back of my mind that I'd like to do. Again, I got to work on my own recipe. I got to, and it's not just putting together one, and you got to test trial and do other people like it, and then see if you can do it consistently. Is this something I have a dream of owning a business for? Not really, but maybe on a small basis, it could be. I make it for family and friends, make it up, bottle it, and make it available to family and friends. That's a possibility. That's a possibility. We'll see. That'd be more of a retirement type of thing, not anything I have time for at the moment. All right. I'm in a Disney-themed drinking club. Do you want to join us on a barrel pick? Sure. I will join you on a barrel pick. You tell me where I got to be and when, and if my schedule allows, I will be there. It'll be fun. So I don't know what a Disney-themed bourbon club is. I don't know how that works or anything like that, but I'm always willing to pick a barrel. When you're a guy who picks barrels, you're always willing to do more. What's your theme song walking into a distillery? If I had a walk-up song, I have a walk-up song. It's "Loser" by Beck. Maybe that says a lot about me than anything else, but I like that song. That's my walk-up song, "Loser." Walking into the distillery, I don't know. Would that catch your attention? Sure, it's a catchy tune. It's a catchy tune. If you were a mash bill, what would be your tasting notes, proof, and describe yourself? No. It's dumb. What's a good tailgating drink besides Jack and Coke? Tailgating, outdoor activity. You're looking for a cocktail specifically. I think, a bourbon slush would be good. You get one of those big coolers, put it in there, and then, because you're outside, people can scoop it in there. Particularly if it's a summertime thing, it's very refreshing and works out really well. So that would be the one I would get. Winter would be different. I think the Jack and Coke is fine. I think that's a classic, right? So not need to do that. I saw Miss Becca Sue at Bruzel Fest, and she offered me no bomb burgers. Why? Probably because she was scared of you. That's what I'm saying. Miss Becca Sue is an interesting character, right? So I've known Becca for a long time now, and yes, she is an incredible friend. If you're her friend. If you're not her friend, she really doesn't have any time for you. And I think that's a good policy, particularly for women. It's a scary world out there, right? And, me as this big mountain of a man, I don't have those sort of worries. But when you look at someone like Becca, a female, you got to be careful who you engage with. I would assume. So I think the fact that she didn't interact with you the way you thought she would, I think that's okay. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's all right. So don't take that as a bad thing. Becca's a cool person. She's a great individual, and enjoy her on the show. That's the best thing you can do. And if you're meant to be friends with her, you're meant to be friends with her. It happens. I'm friends with her, so it can happen for you. Maybe. But don't be creepy. That's the bottom line here. So there's answers to your questions. Hopefully you enjoyed this. We'll do this again soon, all right? See ya.